Okay, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Everyone in the back? Sounds good? Okay, great. Thank you for coming to this session. Before I start, first of all, thanks Aldo and the team, volunteers, everyone here to help organizing these sessions. This is a repeat of my theater session. I did one on Monday. It was same amount of seats available, but we had like 250 people standing. So all of my feedback was that there was no room to sit, right? Hopefully I get some other comments today. So a little bit about me. I'm Reza Rad. I'm a Power BI consultant, MVP, regional director. I'm based in New Zealand, the other side of the world, but I'm traveling around doing training and consulting on Power BI. Everything that I tell you today in this session, I have written blogs, I've created videos about that, so you can go to our website, read all of those or watch all of those for free. These are my contact information. I've also written a Power BI architecture book, which hopefully you can find it in the library. OK, so let's go to the content of architecture. Now, before I talk about that, how many of you are using Power BI already? OK, that's pretty much everyone. For those of you who are not using Power BI, still you would be able to get some information about how to architect your solution. How many of you are familiar with Power Query of Power BI, data flows in Power BI? OK, so these are things that I'm going to talk about and explain how you build an architecture. Power BI is a self-service solution. Let's talk about a scenario like this. Let's talk about a scenario that you have one single developer, or let's say a business analyst, data analyst, wants to analyze the data, wants to solve a business data analysis challenge with multiple users. For that scenario, Power BI works quite perfect, because for that scenario, you can have one Power BI file, import all the data into that Power BI file, do all your transformations, calculations using DAX, visualize it, publish it to the website, and share it with the user, right? That's what Power BI is good at, the self-service analysis, right? You don't need more than file. All in one single file, no problem, right? The challenge starts when you have multiple developers. Let's say you have a team of developers. And in that team of developers, they want to work together on the same scenario, right? You have multiple developers. They want to build a single or more than one, let's say, reporting solution and deliver it to users, right? In this scenario, working with a single file would be challenging. These are a lot of challenges. I highlighted those areas that are most important. Multiple developers cannot work on the same PBIX file at the same time, right? One Power BI file is one PBIX file. You cannot have multiple people working at the same file at the same time. That's one challenge. Another challenge is that if you do everything in one file, after a while, your file grows bigger and bigger. You bring more tables, you bring more relationships, more complexity. Your refresh time will be longer. You end up with like first 20 pages, then 50 pages, 150 pages, 500 pages of visualization, right? So it makes it really hard to maintain such a scenario. As an example, let's go through one of these examples. Using one single query in multiple files. If you have a scenario like that, what do you do? And when I say query, I mean Power Query query. For those of you not familiar with Power Query, a query in Power Query means a table. Let's say you want to use a table in multiple files. Example of that is a date table, right? Let's say you have a sales Power BI file. It has all sales analysis in it. You have an inventory Power BI file, which has all inventory analysis in it. You might have like purchasing Power BI file. These are all different solutions, right? You want to keep them separate, but they have some tables in common. So let's say you spend some time build a date table, quite good date table, and you want to share it in between those files. What do you do in those scenarios? You go to one of your files, the one that has this table, copy the script for that table, paste it in the second one, right? That's usually what we do. Or copy it, paste it in the third one. The problem is that now your source code is in different places, right? If you want to maintain it, you have to go and change it in one, copy it again here, copy it again there. After 2 weeks, change it again there, copy here, copy there, right? It's not a good idea to have your source code across all over places. What is the solution for that? The solution for that is something called data flows. Data flows is not just the Power BI concept. It's more like a Power Platform concept. You can use it in Power Apps as well. So let's talk about what is the data flow. Some of you might not heard about data flow. So data flow is a Power Query transformation running in cloud, independent from Power BI report. Power Query transformation is like all data transformations that you do. It runs in the cloud, means Power BI service or or Power Platform service, and it stores the output not in the Power BI report. That is the most important part of this definition. Data flow is independent from a Power BI report. Normally, when you do Power Query, your result will be loaded into the Power BI report, right? Data flow is not loading it into the Power BI report. So it is loading somewhere else, right? Where is that place that this data is stored? Dataflow stores the data in Azure Data Lake storage. That is, at the moment, the only storage available. Later on, there are discussions to bring other storage as well. But this is, at the moment, the only storage available. As folders, under folders, CSV files, that would be the storage of a data flow, right? You might wonder, OK, I don't have Azure subscription. What I do, because most of Power BI users usually don't have Azure subscription, it would still work. You don't need to have a separate Azure subscription to use Dataflow. Even with your normal Power BI Pro accounts or Premium, you would still get the Dataflow. That space that you have in the Power BI website, 10 gigabyte space or 100 terabytes of space, depends on your license. That includes the data lake storage that you can use as well. So you don't need anything extra. If you have your own data lake subscription, you can connect it to this and use it for that purpose. But if you don't have it, it's absolutely fine. You can use it. So what is the point? We run that Power Query statement in the cloud. We store it in a data lake storage as CSV file. Then in Power BI, we can go and use it. We can get data from that CSV file or Azure Data Lake storage. It's like an intermediate database. It's like creating a data warehouse in the middle layer that I go and get data from there, instead of replicating my process of getting data and doing transformations. So if I talk about that same scenario that I had, that I want one table to be replicated in multiple files, I don't really replicate that table. I build it once through my data flow. Then I reuse it multiple times in different files, right? Instead of recreating it again, right? I create a data flow with that file. Then in different Power BI files, I go and get data from that, right? That would also make my refresh time faster, because now my transformations is done in the data flow. When I'm in the PBIX file, when I refresh it, I'm just getting the data ready and just load it from that scenario. So my refresh time would be faster. Now let me show you how this data flow works. So here I have a Power BI data model. As you can see, I have a sales table, a customer table, product table. I don't have a date table. Let's say I want to add a date table to this, right? One practice is that I can go and build the date table, but already I have another Power BI file. This is another Power BI file with a date table in it, right? So what I can do, I can go and under Edit Queries, because my date table is created with Power Query, I go to Advanced Editor. I copy the entire script for this. Then I go and build this through a data flow. So I'll go here in the Power BI website. Data flow is service-only feature. We don't have it in the desktop. So I go to the Power BI service. In this workspace, I go to data flow section. I create a data flow. Let me enable zooming as well, so you can see it from the back. So I create a data flow. I say create new entity. Entity means a table, right? Create a new entity. This would show me the Power Query online experience. So in this place, as you can see, I have all these data sources that I can get data from it. Very similar to Power Query in Power BI Desktop, right? So I can either select that source and do the transformations right here, or I can say, give me a blank query, because I already have that script copied, right? And then I paste it here, right? That's exactly the same script. paste over here. If it has a data source, I can configure the gateway configuration for that if it is an on-prem data source, and then click on Next. This will go through those processes and will show me that this is a table output that I would get, right? I have all of those transformations also listed here, right? I can call this a date table. Now, this data flow can have other tables as well. In one data flow, you consider a data flow like a database. You can have multiple tables under that, right? So for this, I just use this one table, and then I save it. Let's say I call this Ignite data flow 2, because I already have one. So I save this. Similar to a data set in Power BI, I can go and schedule this to be refreshed. But for now, just to get it working, I just refresh it now. While it is refreshing, you can see it is refreshing right now. While it is refreshing, I already did that once, and I have the copy of that refreshed previously. So I'm going to this Power BI file. Let me close these ones. I don't need that. And I don't need this one, which had the date table. So I'll go to this file, which doesn't have the date table. All I do is I go get data from Power BI data flows, right? It's like an intermediate storage, right? I store it, I did the transformation, stored it like a database. Now I'm going and getting this data from that database, or data flow in this case, we call it. You need to log in with your account, credentials, things like that. I've already done that, so it has those information. Then I see all my workspaces. In this case, this was under this workspace. And this is the one that it is called, but I think that is not yet refreshed, so I'm getting from the one that I refreshed previously. And you see the date table, right? And when I select the date table, it would, the preview coming quite soon, it would have all those columns. The complexity, all of those transformations is abstracted for the person who built that table, right? I don't need to know about that. I'm a person who is going to use this table. I don't care how that table is created, right? Someone created that table, take care of that. So I created a multiple developer structure, right? Here, I'm using the table, regardless of how that table is created. Someone else is taking care of building that table, right? You separated the two layers in building your data model, the data transformation layer, which in BI systems, we call it ETL, and or modeling and visualization, right? So then I have this table. I can create a relationship of that to other tables. After doing relationships, I can publish it to the service, right? So I can have multiple developers working at the same time. But this is not the entire solution. We still need something else. What if after using that data flow, after doing all of those transformations, I want to do something else? I want to create a duplicate data set. Now, let's first talk about dataset, because still a lot of people don't know what the dataset is in Power BI, because it's like a quite abstract concept. A Power BI file includes two objects. It's not what you see in a PBIX file. PBIX file is one object. Behind the scene, it's two objects. It's one report, visualization layer only. It has all the visuals, charts, everything on that. And another object is the dataset. That includes the data, relationships, calculations, connection to the data source. That's the place that you refresh your data, right? That's all called dataset. When you open Power BI file, behind the scene, if you go to Task Manager, you actually see that there is a service running Microsoft SQL Server Analysis Services. That is where the dataset lives. Even if you run Power BI on a machine without Analysis Services, this would be there anyway, because Power BI Desktop installs SQL Server Analysis Services tabular, right? So that's the dataset. Now that you know the dataset, and one thing is that dataset is more visible in the website. After you publish your report to the website, you see that there is a tab for dataset, there's a tab for report. You might so far wondered why there are two tabs, because there are actually two different objects, right? So now that we know what is the dataset, what if you want to replicate part of calculations in the dataset? Let's say you spend some time, build a calculations, running total sales. You wrote a DAX expression for that, or you wrote a DAX expression for rolling average 12 months, things like that, right? Now you want to replicate it in multiple files. What you can do with that? You cannot use dataflow, because dataflow is for replicating your Power Query calculations. It's not for DAX calculation. This is different. This is your modeling layer. What you can do instead is using shared dataset. One dataset works with one Power BI file. That's like the default configuration. But you can have one dataset serving multiple Power BI files. Multiple Power BI reports, sorry. Multiple Power BI reports. And that makes your dataset a shared dataset. I can have one dataset, one visualization to this, another visualization to this, another visualization to that. How does it work? In the Power BI website, we have an option to create a new report from a dataset. In the Power BI desktop, we also have that option. So let's say, for example, I'll show you this as well. So let's say I have another workspace here. In this workspace, you see that I have a report, a movies report. Let me just open it to show you. This is movies data, analysis of movies data. You see I have different tabs on it, right? This movies data behind the scene is connected to a data set, right? There's a data set. This is the visualization layer of that. Now, I want to do some more visualizations on this, but I don't really want to go and add more pages into that, because I want to share it with a totally different set of users, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going here in a whole new Power BI file. This is a new Power BI file. I say get data. Now, instead of building those transformations again, instead of building those calculations again, instead of doing all of those, I choose this option, get data from Power BI dataset, because I already built that movies dataset, right? So I go get data from this. And when I say get data from this, it actually comes up with a list of data sets that I have access to that. Some of these might be data sets that I've created. Some of these might be data sets that someone else in my organization created and shared it with me, right? Now, there is also, as you can see here, we have something called endorsement, a labeling system that let me know that some of these data sets are endorsed. Someone already tested it. It is like certified data sets. Some of them are not certified, but it's like middle layer. You can consider it as a labeling system like gold, silver, bronze scenario, right? There are places in the website that you can go and set this configuration. So I'll go and select one of these. Let's say in this case, I select that. Oh, press the wrong button. So I go and select the movies data set. And as soon as I select that, this Power BI report would be a live connection to that data set. I won't really build a data set again here, right? Where did it go? Here it is. So here you can see that this says this Power BI report is a live connection to that data set. And live connection means that in this Power BI report, I don't really have any tab for data, any tab for relationship. I don't have calculations. I don't have Power Query transformations. All I can do is visualization. I can do whatever visualization I want, right? I can go and build a visualization based on the sales, studio, and I can change it to the beautiful donut chart, which we shouldn't be doing, but just showing you that this is possible. Now I can save this to something in my desktop. Let's call it Movies Ignite. And then I can publish it, right? After building this, I can publish it to the workspace. So this means that this report doesn't have a data set. The data set of this report is already up there, right? I separated my visualization element from my data modeling. So let me show you now how that looks like in this environment. So when I go to that workspace, you can see that I have one movies data set. This is the movies data set, only one, right? But when I go to the reports, you see that I have multiple movies report. These are all connected to that, right? You can, in fact, see that. You can go to a data set, click on this view related options, and it tells you that these are all reports connected to that. So I separated my visualization layer from my modeling layer. The previous part was separating your data transformation layer from the rest. Now separating your visualization layer from the rest. So what architecture I'm talking about? This is the architecture I'm talking about. 3 separate layers of BI system. Data transformation, which we call it ETL in a BI, traditional BI, let's say, terminologies. It gets data from different sources. It does the data mashup, load it into Azure Data Lake storage using the data flow. Then we have the shared data set, shared data model, whatever you might call it, which has all of those Power BI calculations, DAX calculations, relationships of tables, everything like that. And then we have our visualization layer, which is Power BI reports. Now, this is built all through these 2 concepts, using the data flow and using the shared data set. When you use this approach for creating an architecture, it's not just for Power BI. You can use it for a lot of other scenarios. Like in a self-service environment, you have a lot of Excel users. They use Excel to connect to this environment, right? So this is how we built this. Get data from different places for the data transformation layer. In the data modeling layer, we do get data from Power BI data flows. In the last layer, we get data from Power BI datasets, right? You can have a lot of Excel users. Instead of exporting these concepts to these data into Excel, they can use Analyze in Excel feature. And that means that Excel users would be able to connect through the same scenario. Or some of you might already use other visualization tools. Who is using other visualization tools? Tableau, Click, OK? So you can still use those tools, right? Those tools, I mean, they are OK, right? They have some limitations, right? But the thing is that Power BI can be used as the data modeling layer of those tools. So I can have Power BI connection, Tableau connection to the Power BI dataset using that shared dataset approach. So I have the calculation engine. I have the powerful engine of the calculation in Power BI. Tableau, Click, all other tools can connect to that. What about paginated reports? Reports that I use for pagination, I can still use that also to be connected to this. So this architecture that you see, in the front end, you can build whatever visualization you want. Power BI, Tableau, Click, paginated reports, Excel, all the visualization elements you want. In the modeling layer, we have Power BI engine for doing the calculation modeling, which is super fast. And then in the data transformation layer, we have the data flows, right? That was the architecture I wanted to talk about. Now, I wanted to also talk about like a tool that helps. I just mentioned it here. I won't show you the demo for that. It's a tool that we built. It's a free tool. You can use it. It gives you a lot of information, like documenting your whole solution, giving you like some performance tuning tips and things like that. Make sure to go and use it. I have some videos about this in Red Hat website. References to study more. Every single example that I showed you, I've written articles about that. These slides should be already in the website somewhere, I don't know. Should be already there. If you can't find it, just send me an email. At the end of the week, I'll share it with you separately. That's pretty much it. I'm 2 minutes over time. Thank you for attending this session. If you have any questions, please come forward.